Hey everybody, it is a late night, late Thursday night right before this one drops. This is your general speaking, Joshua David Ling. It is almost 11 p.m. Eastern, and I just wanted to record this intro really quickly because I do not want to do a full and entire introduction, doing the Ollie voice, doing the whole thing. And this one's going to be very minimally edited so that I can get it out in time. Things have been very, very busy with extended family and other things going on. Continue to be in prayer for my extended family, my mother and my sister especially. Thank you everyone who has been having our back on that. And if you're not aware of any of that, you can join the Brood and find out more, share each other's burdens in art and in prayer, and for all the things that we need. Our Lord is watching out for us. Keep moving forward. The Lord is with us, and his church marches forward. Thank you for listening to Poets at War. Let's get going with this one from December 16th, 2025. We're almost through all of the 2025 recordings. Here's this one. Do you want to talk your story? Do you want to go through the Rankin Bass thing? What do we feel like doing tonight? I'm up for other stuff too.
Whatever you feel like doing is cool. I don't know. I kind of want to ask with your story, like, I really like the bones of the story and the way that you wrote it and the tone, like the bones of what happens in it, the general impressions I have of the characters, and the overall feel of the entire piece, including like the logic of the plot, everything. Like, all of that works for me. The one thing I'd say just for me is there's a very clear lack of dialogue in the middle section. And part of that's because of the action, but then like even after the action for quite a while there's no dialogue. If I remember correctly. But outside of that, like, I didn't have a lot outside of I really like this general idea of where it's going and I would like more. I'd love to answer questions more than the other, because I feel like you probably have more things that you're trying to decide things about than I have immediately strong feelings about. I really like it. That's a strong feeling. Don't get me wrong on that. But I don't have anything that I'm just like, I would change that and that and that, right? Hey, how's it going, Carey?
What's up?
Hey.
Good to see you, man.
I was
working with Abbi on one of her stories.
What's up,
you guys?
friend?
Oh, Jesse too. What's up, man?
It's our turn now, baby.
Jesse.
It is?
Long time no see.
Bonjour, everybody. We just finished building up.
Why do you...
What? Joshua, can say that again?
I was just saying, why does Jesse have a hatchet or whatever it is?
It's a hammer. We just finished building this, if you can see it on camera.
Oh, nice.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, my brother's dog pen. Don't mind. How do I fix
Nice
this?
job.
Stupid. Oh. She is a little stupid. Belle. Hello, puppy stores. Come here. All right.
So,
hello.
I was just about to go through, talk with Abbi about her story a little bit. Do you have questions like, did this work for you, that kind of thing? Or were you just wanting general thoughts? Do you want an edit? What are you looking for in this?
Kind of general thoughts, I think. I wasn't prepared with questions. More like, do you have any questions about the world or about the characters? Like,
we had talked about the world on here, and I remember a lot about it, and it all was pretty clear in the story. The thing that I want more of personally, if I was going to say I want more, is probably the dialogue, like I said, but it doesn't need to be. This is the other thing. C.S. Lewis does this, and people have varying thoughts on it, but he does it a lot in Narnia, where he talks about what people would say later on in their life about an event and puts it into their own words. And I feel like that is a tool that would work well with the type of tone that you already have going on this thing.
I was kind of thinking that as well. Mostly because I was listening to The Magician's Nephew today.
Yeah. He does that a lot in Magician's Nephew and Dawn Treader. I feel like he does it mostly in those two. And I think those are ones that really need it the most because there's a lot of action in both of them that is, what's the term? It's introspective action. Right? Yeah. There's a lot of introspective things going on externally that people kind of need to take in and understand rather than Super Friends. You know, Super Friends, the old cartoon. Okay, it was an old cartoon with like Superman, Batman, The Flash, Wonder Woman, and Wonder Woman, all that. Anyway,
like I remember seeing episodes, but I was pretty young.
Yeah, well, the thing that's always levied at those shows, especially from that era, is they would be like, that person is doing a bad thing. I have to use my power to stop them. You know, it's all external dialogue because they're basically just filling the soundscape instead of letting, you know, the action speak for itself in a visual medium. But obviously we're not in a visual medium, so having inner thoughts and or like the way they would phrase it later kinds of things, they're almost like flash forwards the way C.S. Lewis does it. I don't know what to call them, but to me, like that's the only thing that's really missing. And there's a few times when you're going through it where you're saying like exactly what the person's feeling in the plainest terms instead of making me feel what they're feeling. It's a show don't tell kind of a thing, but there's only a little bit of that. And I feel like looking for those places and either replacing them with the flash forward C.S. Lewis quote thingy or doing saying it was like if you've ever experienced kind of the C.S. Lewis anecdotal aside. Obviously you don't have go ahead.
I was just saying, part of the thing I'm trying to work on here is the narrative voice. It's supposed to be Rael Flynn the Centaur, like writing this down, but
okay.
I don't want it to be first person because I think it should be third person for his character. Because like I told you, and Brendan, I think that he's kind of like the white centaur later on in the story.
Yes, I think so, yeah.
I think Brendan pronounced it Chiron rather than Chiron. Greek mythology. Well, so he's kind of telling this story. There's a collection of stories. They're all supposed to be told by him. This one's the first, and it's the only one about him. So I didn't want to change it to first person. Because I didn't want to be like the only one in first person.
Sure. So keeping it in third person, you could go John the Apostle style, like beats Peter to the tomb, right? There was a certain apostle that beat Peter to the tomb, you know?
It was me, but...
Right. What'd you say, Aaron?
But that's not what's important.
Right.
Yeah. I love reading the Book of John. Also,
yeah, go ahead.
You know, you continue. I don't want to lose the train of thought.
Well, I just I think that the writing it from a wise person's perspective, I think that he's going to have probably even more of a show don't tell thing than even you would have, or you know, any other writer really, because he knows exactly what it felt like. And so if he is purposing to write it in third person, I think that he's going to he's setting. Yeah, go ahead.
Maybe from a loftier point of view, or is that am I going off track from what you're saying?
No, you're not going off track. I'm trying to see if I can put this into words. If I was Santa Claus and I wanted to tell the story of my origin from my own perspective, not from my own perspective, but from a third person, you know, sort of objective standpoint, I feel like the reporting of the facts is really important down to the finest details, and that includes the inner thoughts of not just me, but what I perceived other people were thinking. I'm trying to give you like the historical significance of every single thought that went through me when I experienced this, right?
Yeah, the thing I was feeling, a historian's point of view.
Yes, because when you write a story in the third person as a historian, but you were there, I feel like writing it in such detail that it could have only come from someone who was there will make people challenge the narrative, and then you can say, but I was there. You know, I feel like that's something a wise old person would do. Just to be like, look, I'm going to write this in such a way that it's going to fit the categories that we're dealing with here for history, but I'm going to make sure that every single part of it that I experienced is in there because that is history to me. Therefore, it is authentic. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So maybe playing with that voice a little bit, you know, playing with the idea of I'm presenting historical fact to you, but even the subjective stuff is fact to me, right?
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah. So that's just what I think, but
no, I appreciate that. If I can keep that in mind as I go through the edits, it might help with like the voice and tone.
Yeah. Obviously, you haven't read this, Aaron, but do you have any thoughts on this kind of a thing? Writing a historical, you know, in-world historical narrative about your earlier days, but the character is writing from third person.
So if you actually want to write it like, well, I don't think you actually want to write it like a history thing, but I don't know. There's a bunch of different history books you could read that are like that to give you an idea on what that looks like. But basically, I would just say it would make sense in that case for the author to interject in the narrative. But I don't know. You're probably just writing more like a basic novel style, but you want that background of it being this thing that this character is writing. You don't. So what you're saying is you don't want it to be first person, right? This section,
yeah,
that's from the character's perspective. Okay, so there are books where the author will write about themselves in third person. Like that happens. And it's, you know, we have the Gospel of John. We also have the books of Moses. He writes about himself in third person. And, you know, you can still get some of the inner life and the thoughts of the character with that. Because, you know, whenever the author is writing about themselves in third person, they're just not trying to draw attention to themselves, right, in the narrative.
Mm-hmm.
But what's not important is in this narrative is the fact that they were there. You know, if they're referring to themselves in the third person, that's what they view as the unimportant part.
Yeah, that's actually kind of really what I'm going for here is like he's saying this important event happened to him, but also it's not important that it was him, just that like it happened, and this is like the whole explanation of like the good versus evil and stuff. That's what's important, kind of. I don't know if that makes sense. Bless you.
Yep. Oh boy, there's another one. So yeah, hopefully that's a little bit of a help. Like I said, I'm happy to go back and look at anything specifically. I'm happy to continue talking about it, you know, when you think of more questions, whatever you want to do there, happy to help. But I do think that it is currently a cohesive tone. It just needs a little bit of detail here, a little bit of detail there, you know, and it's particularly dialogue, like I said, in the second act of the piece. And outside of that, you know, you can play with it and tweak it all you want, but eventually it's got to ship, I guess, in some kind of way. But you're working on craft, so
yeah, this short story is pretty important to me, so I want to do it well.
Yes.
This is only the second draft, actually.
Very good.
First draft
it's
that I was
very good
editing.
for a second draft. Yeah.
So I wrote the first draft 3 years ago. At the time, my family and I were kind of homeless. We were living on the beach, like sleeping on the beach under the beach houses and stuff.
Yeah.
So at the time,
that's not surprising to me. My wife was homeless for a time too.
Okay. Yeah. So it was an interesting time. It wasn't like not miserable. It was like an adventure, you know. So
yeah.
During that time, we ended up going to the library and reading a lot. I was reading a lot, and then I had my journal with me, so I was writing too, and that's what I wrote. Was that story? So
I gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah. So I want to do a good job on it and get the original point across.
Yes. Well, I'm looking forward to hearing it, you know, as it evolves and everything.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing. Whenever you are experiencing like difficulties, you often look back at those memories with fondness.
Yes, because you grew, you know.
Yeah. You're like, oh, those days whenever it was, you know. And even like I said, it wasn't a miserable time either, and it was a very short time. It was like 2 weeks. We were actually like outside, and then we were in a hotel for a couple weeks whenever the community outreach helped us out. So,
Gotcha. Hello again, Daniel. You can talk or not, either way. But good to have you around.
I'm stepping up. I can.
Do what? You're setting up what?
I was just stepping outside, so I can do so freely.
Oh, cool. So, Daniel, your brother doesn't remember as much, but do you remember the Rankin Bass Christmas specials? So Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, Frosty the Snowman, etc., like the old claymation stuff.
Yep.
So yeah, I prompted Gemini.
The Isle of the Lost Toys. The Isle of the Lost Toys kind of stood with me for the longest time, and that was like that was the toy box I wanted.
Yep, I can see that. Definitely. So I prompted Gemini tonight as just kind of a fun thing, and I was fixing to read through it. If you took the entire Rankin Bass holiday catalog, which some of it is super weird, and sought to turn it into a Game of Thrones style war of gods, demigods, heroes, villains, etc., what would the power ranking look like? And please give a mythological charting of the general full story. Where there are discrepancies, make new stuff to explain it or connect it by any means. Make this like a real mythology.
Yeah, I think I heard a bit of that.
Yep. Yeah. So, this is what it says. I'll start reading some. We can stop at any point. Stop me at any point. We can laugh. We can talk. Why something would be better. Or anything people want to come up with. But I just thought this was a fun Christmas time thing to do. But this is a reimagining of Rankin Bass holiday universe in a high fantasy grimdark epic, utilizing the lore established in The Life and Adventures of Santa Claus, the Silmarillion of this universe, combined with the conflicts of Rudolph, The Year Without Santa Claus, and Jack Frost. Here is the Codex Borealis, as they call it. It looks like they didn't do all of them, but they did like some of the more important ones. Anyway, so this is part 1, the power ranking. In this universe, power is defined by elemental control, immortality, and influence over reality. So at tier 0, we have the aspects of existence. We have Father Time and Mother Nature. Both of these do exist in The Year Without Santa Claus, if I remember correctly. Father Time, the keeper of the great clock, he is omniscient and unstoppable, even the gods wither before him. Mother Nature, the matriarch of Earth, she commands the elemental lords. She is neutral, cruel, and necessary. If she is angered, the world ends. Tier 1, the High Lords, they said they put
and
the
that's
Valar.
tier 0.
Yeah, that's like the primordials is what it says. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So that's like the top level. This is no one's but bigger than these.
Gotcha. Okay, I'm sorry. I cut out.
Yeah. So, the High Lords, we got the Great Ak, which is AK, the Master Woodsman of the world, the Supreme Commander of the Immortals. He holds the power of life and death over mortals. He is the patron deity of the Forest of Burzee. That's from Life and Adventures of Santa Claus, if I remember correctly. I haven't seen all of these, but I've seen most of these. Then we have the Snow Miser and Heat Miser, the Elemental Brothers. They possess nuclear-level destructive capabilities. They can render the planet uninhabitable, ice age, or global firestorm if not kept in check by Mother Nature. That's where Mother Nature came from. She was in that one. She's the mother of these two. I remember now. And then Eon the Terrible is also in this category. He is a vulture god who eats time. His wingspan darkens the sky, and his screech turns ages to dust. He is in The Year Without Santa Claus as well, which is wild. You guys should really watch that one again if you have a chance. It is just so weird. Tier 2 is Sorcerers and Demigods. We have the Winter Warlock at the top of this one. He's from Santa Claus is Coming to Town. A former dark necromancer of the Ice Mountains. Though redeemed, he possesses the magic corn, a source of levitation and transmutation. He commands the trees and the wind. He actually is the one who makes the reindeer fly in Santa Claus is Coming to Town with the magic corn. Yep.
First one I've known so far.
What'd you say?
That's the first one I know so far of this list.
The Winter Warlock, yeah. Kubla Kraus, we have the Mad King of January Junction, a technological genius who created an army of clockwork soldiers and the infinite Ventril-O-Matic. I remember him briefly, but I don't remember what he's from. Then we have King Moonracer, who is the Winged Lion, who is the Lord of the Misfit Toys. He commands the legion of sentient constructs and holds a dominion over the skies of the outer ocean. So he was from Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Y'all remember him. Then we have Santa Claus in this category, or Kris Kringle. He is the chosen one. He possesses the mantle of immortality, super speed, stealth, and the ability to bend space-time, the chimney paradox. Then we have Tier 3, the champions and monsters. We have the Bumble, the abominable snow monster, a Titan-class beast impervious to cold, capable of crushing stone. And we have 11, Jack Frost, the elemental rogue assassin, invisible, intangible, but can be made mortal. And we have Rudolph, the red-nosed mutant. His nose is not just a light, it is a piercing beam of concentrated solar energy capable of cutting through the thickest magical fog, the fog of war. Then we have Professor Hinkle, who is from Frosty the Snowman, if I remember correctly. A chaotic, inept, but dangerous dark magician who created the Hat of Life, a necromantic phylactery. Then we get into part 2, the mythological history. Era 1, the age of the immortals and the war of the Aguas. Aguas were, like I said, I think Life and Adventures of Santa Claus. That's probably the weirdest one that they did. It is literally their Silmarillion, like I'm not even joking. That's the one where they're doing the most to try and tie all these things together in some weird fantasy way. And I think the second most is probably The Year Without Santa Claus. That's the one with Baby New Year. But anyway, in the beginning, the world was ruled by the Council of Immortals, led by the great Ak in the forest of Burzee. However, the lands of men were plagued by the Aguas, invisible shape-shifting demons who fed on the misery of children. Ak discovers an abandoned human infant in the snow. Defying the laws of the council, he entrusts the child to the nymph Necile. The child is Klaus. Klaus grows up among the fey creatures. As a man, he sees the suffering caused by the Aguas. He begins crafting toys, totems of hope. The Aguas declare war. This is the first Great War. The great Ak unleashes the full might of the immortals, nukes, reels, and fairies. They commit genocide against the Aguas, driving them into extinction, but save for a few who retreat into the deepest caves to devolve into trolls and goblins. And then in Era 2, we have the rise of the Red Saint and the Somber Town Schism. Klaus, now a mortal hero, moves to the human realms. He encounters the Burgermeister Meisterburger, a totalitarian dictator who has outlawed joy. Klaus forms a rebellion. During his travels, he encounters the Winter Warlock, a dark sorcerer ruling the ice mountains. Klaus does not fight him with steel, but breaks his curse using a choo-choo, a complex mechanical offering. The Warlock swears fealty to House Kringle. However, the Burgermeister burns the toys. Klaus, labeled an outlaw, retreats to the North Pole, a neutral territory. The great Ak, seeing Klaus's impending death and from old age, calls a great council. He argues that Klaus is the only defense against the return of misery. The council votes to grant Klaus the mantle of immortality. He becomes the avatar of generosity. Then we have Era 3. The Dance of the Misers, the Elemental Civil War. Centuries pass, the worlds fall into chaos as the sons of Mother Nature, Snow Miser, the Lord of the North, and Heat Miser, the Lord of the South, begin a proxy war. The weather becomes erratic. Santa Claus falls ill. His magic is tied to the belief of the world. Mrs. Claus, the matriarch in the North, acts as hand of the king. She attempts diplomacy. The brothers refuse to yield. The war is stopped only by the intervention of Mother Nature. She forces a truce. The seasons shall rotate. However, the truce is fragile. The North Pole remains under the jurisdiction of the Snow Miser, who tolerates Santa only because Santa brings chill to the world. What are we saying here? Aaron's drinking out of a saucepan? Question mark. I'd be more worried if he wasn't doing something like that, says Daniel. That's hilarious.
That's a typical brother.
Oh, that's good. And we're getting toward the end, but Era 4, the Misfit Rebellion and the Fog of War. A genetic anomaly occurs in the reindeer bloodline. Rudolph is born with a radioactive glowing nose. Viewed as an aberration by Donner, captain of the guard, Rudolph is exiled. He meets Hermie, a rogue elf who rejected the caste system of toy making in pursuit of dentistry, torture/interrogation techniques, to flee to the Badlands. They encounter Yukon Cornelius, a berserker seeking peppermint, a magical ore essential for fueling the North's economy. They discover the island of misfit toys, a penal colony/refuge for sentient constructs rejected by society, ruled by the griffin god King Moonracer. Meanwhile, the Bumble, a descendant of the ancient Aguas, threatens the North Pole. A magical storm, summoned by the lingering resentment of the Winter Warlock's old enemies, threatens to ground the sleigh forever. Rudolph returns. He uses his nose, a beacon of pure energy, to pierce the storm. The bumble is subdued by Hermie, who removes its fangs/weapons, and Yukon, who breaks its spirit. The bumble is conscripted into the North's army. Era 5, the temporal crisis, the shiny new year. The vulture god Eon the Terrible seeks to stop time so he will never die. He kidnaps the baby New Year, the avatar of the future. If the sun does not rise on January 1st, time will freeze, and Eon will rule an eternal stagnant purgatory. That is actually the plot, more or less, of The Year Without Santa Claus, by the way. Santa, realizing his magic is useless in the archipelago of time, sends Rudolph. Rudolph travels through the eras, gathering allies, the cavemen, the knight, the founding fathers. Yes, that's real. That's from the thing. There's a caveman and a knight, and one of the founding fathers of the United States that accompany Rudolph. Anyway, they storm
a D&D party that just got like a little too drunk.
Yeah, more or less. They storm Eon's island fortress. Eon is defeated not by force, but by laughter. Rudolph reveals that Eon is hideous only because he frowns. Eon laughs, turning into ice and shattering, or retiring, depending on the bard telling the tale. Time is saved. And then the last era here, we have the Frost War, Jack Frost. Kubla Kraus, a steampunk tyrant riding a mechanical horse, conquers the human settlement of January Junction. He desires the beautiful peasant girl Elsa. Jack Frost, an invisible spirit of winter, petitions Father Winter to become human to win Elsa. He is granted a temporary mortal shell, the Stark Condition. If he possesses gold, a horse, or a wife by spring, he stays human. Kraus unleashes his mechanical army. Jack, realizing he cannot defeat the machines as a human, sacrifices his humanity to regain his elemental powers. He summons the Christmas Snow, a blizzard of holy magnitude, to rust Kraus's army and freeze the tyrant in his castle forever. Jack returns to the ether, a tragic guardian. And then the great houses, it has a list of the great houses. We have House Kringle in the north. Their sigil is a sleigh rampant on a field of white. The words say, "We deliver." And the seat is the citadel of the pole. House Miser, the dual monarchy. The sigil is a sun and a snowflake combatant. The words are, "Too much is never enough," because they both say "I'm too much" in their song. The seat is the volcanic fortress / the ice spire. So the two fortresses. House Moonracer, the exiles, a winged lion. Words, unwanted, unbroken. Seat, the island of misfit toys. The League of the Warlock, sigil is a crystal ball and a corn cob. Words, 1 foot in front of the other. Seat, the forest of magic. So that was what I got. But pretty fun. Pretty great.
Yeah. Now I want to see a Dungeons and Dragons adventure that includes one of the founding fathers.
Oh, that would be great.
It's a dragon. Ben Franklin.
When I say one of the founding fathers, let me see here. The year they all have a name based on the year that they're from. So it's not actually a founding father. I'm trying to see here.
What I would like to do is take that idea, but do like the founding fathers. Like you're role playing not just a D&D character, but you're actually role playing one of the founding fathers, role playing a D&D character.
Oh yeah. So like if George Washington was playing Dungeons and Dragons, that's who you are.
Exactly.
Let me see here.
That would be insane and funny.
It would be. It would be. It's like, would George Washington be... Oh, goodness. What would his class be? Like, what would he choose?
He did a paladin.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, what was it? Is it The Year Without Santa Claus? I'm confused now. I'm pretty sure that's the name of that one. Okay, give me a minute. Baby New Year. It's the year without Santa Claus, right? Or no? No, Rudolph's Shiny New Year. Excuse me, I'm wrong.
Oh.
Rudolph's Shiny New Year is the one with the vulture god character named Eowyn and all that stuff. So in that one, which has the knight and all the other stuff, the characters' names are, let's see here, the characters we have. So we have. So I know that Sev, SEV, or 1776 is the founding father character.
Okay.
And then we have Frank Gorshin plays Sir 1023. So he's the knight. Frank Gorshin was the Riddler in the original Batman, like the 1960s Batman.
Monsters.
Yeah, and what was the other one? There was a cave. Oh, 1 million BC was the other. Oh, they call him BC, I think, if I remember correctly. Okay. But he's yeah. So those were the three that accompanied him. There's also I don't remember what the character, what anything about the character, but there is also a whale that has a giant clock attached to its tail. Like, they were really smoking something on this one. This one's my favorite to watch, actually, when I get the chance, just because it's so bonkers.
What's the name of it again?
Rudolph's Shiny New Year.
Julio.
Yeah, that one is absolutely nuts. But yeah, I kind of liked how they made Rudolph and Santa Claus in this one, like the two like hero characters that keep back the darkness, kind of a thing. It was kind of fun. I liked it. Oh boy, I would have liked to see where Frosty ranks, but that's a whole other thing. Some kind of golem. It's a golem.
I just spilled a lot of India ink all over my desk.
Ooh, not good. Uh-oh. So you'll be back.
Is that expensive?
Not really. Like, it can be, but I got cheap stuff. But it is a brand new jar, and I just opened it, and I was trying to put the cap back on, and I guess I tilted it wrong. It just went everywhere. So
that
sorry.
I'm
not paying attention.
No, do your thing. Yeah, of course. You're cleaning. I understand. Oh boy, did you ever find orange juice, Daniel?
I have emergency packets.
Oh, there you go. That'll help. Oh man. Yeah, so I have, like I said way earlier, been working on getting final edits on my second audiobook for this month finished. I should be able to get those done tonight after we finish up here, because there's only like 3 of them, I think, and 3 little fixes, just 1 line each. And then I am doing a conference in January. I'm not going to the conference. I'm working it remotely. But that'll be some good pay as well. So things have been pretty good in that regard. We're getting along fine. Casey and I opted to, we're still going to have some small presents and things for us, but we're going to wait until our anniversary in January to do big presents for each other. Gives us a little bit more time, not just financially, but like time wise. It's more so time, I think. we want time to actually think about it and make a good choice, so we opted to do that. And so yeah, we've been kind of prepping for Jane to come, with some stuff, and I'm excited about her coming in March or April. late
As
March
you should be.
or early April. Yeah. Well, it's kind of funny. I'm interested to find. I'm mostly like really interested to find what God puts in our family, because literally until Jane has come, all of us are firstborn. Yes, Peter is secondborn, but he's firstborn male. So we're all firstborn in some way or another, except for Jane, unless you want to count the first that's not a firstborn, but that's kind of stretching it, I think. But yeah, we all
I'm
kind
sorry,
of have
what was the point about firstborns? Who's a firstborn? Who's not?
All four of us. Casey, me, Peter, Hazel. Peter only because he's firstborn male, but yes, he's firstborn male. Like that's a thing.
Oh, gotcha.
So Jane will be the first that's not firstborn in any way, unless you count the stretch logic of first that's not a firstborn. But but the point being, like, we all have very much kind of firstborn energy. We're all kind of caretakers in our own way. Peter's is with humor. Usually he's always trying to look over how everybody's feeling and like I'm going to cheer you up with a comedy routine. I'm going to put underwear on my head, do something silly, right? Whatever. Hazel is very much a little mom. She has some autistic and or OCD tendencies. But she's very, very caring. And very, very, I won't say she's super aware of everybody's feelings, but like the second she is, she's like, okay, yeah, no, I'm going to take care of this. Right. And then Casey and I were firstborns of both our families, and we, basically raised our siblings. And because of that, I really do think we had an advantage in raising kids. A lot of people kind of discount that and go, yeah, it's not the same. No, it's not the same until you have your own and you're fully responsible for them. But if you're a good big brother or a good big sister, you kind of know a little bit of what you're supposed to be doing, And so I think it's been easier for us because of that. Not easy, but easier, right? And so Jane is absolutely a wild card at this point. She could be pretty much anything,
Yeah, so she's kind of the first in her own right.
Yeah, in that regard, yeah. But it's just going to be kind of weird. Just with the personalities we have. I'm always interested in to see. This was the thing when, even with my siblings, when I was growing up, like I always tried to figure out like how are the dynamics going to change with this edition, right? So that's always interesting to me. But if she lives up to her name, which the other two have for the most part so far, we mainly named her after Jane Grey. Lady Jane Grey. Y'all know her?
Mm-hmm.
So
I can't say I do.
Protestant. During the Reformation, she was thrust into the the monarchy in England after the death of Edward VI. Basically, all the aftermath of King Henry VIII resulted in a whole bunch of people coming through and either dying because they were sickly or dying because of other reasons. And basically, it eventually went up to her, and she was beheaded for heresy and other sorts of things and blah blah blah. They a lot of different charges and stuff, but she basically just said, I ruled as best as I could. I was put in a bad situation. I tried to do what was right, and this is a political thing. I understand it. I want God to forgive everybody. I want everyone to get together and work properly, according to scripture. And then when she was like 16 or something like that, when she was going to the block, they blindfolded her and she started panicking. She was totally completely calm in delivering her speech, didn't badmouth anybody, just said, "This is what's up. I'm sorry, I gotta go now." And then when she couldn't find the block, she started crying and freaking out because she was like, "Where's the block? Where's the block?" And it's a bit of conjecture, but most people view that as her being like she was ready to see Jesus after everything that she'd been through, you know. It's really crazy. But yeah, she was very, very strong woman, young, who she was cousin to Edward, the king who died. So her cousin just died, who she was close friends with. Her cousin, who was the king, died of terminal sickness, you know, from birth, basically. He lived way longer than he should have. He was a teenager as well. And then she gets thrust onto the throne, which she never asked for. All the Protestants are like, this is one of our last hopes politically is you've got to hold the throne. And then as soon as the armies and stuff ended up fighting and the Catholics and other folk took over. And keep in mind, I'm not saying anything all about all Catholics. I'm saying this was a very bad fight between both sides at this point. She was trying to restore peace from the throne. And when the armies are fighting, you can't do that, you know, especially when you're a teenager and you're a young queen, no one's going to listen, you know? And then she gets captured, you know, charged with heresy, the whole nine. So that was really crazy. But yeah, she was very, very interesting woman. There's a movie with Helena Bonham Carter. It has some nudity in it. But it is a pretty good biopic, of Lady Jane Grey. So yeah.
That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
I always thought she was an interesting historical character.
Yes. There's a couple other Janes that we named her after. My father was a huge fan of Mary Poppins growing up. So much so that he actually, keep in mind, he was born in 58, so he actually got to see it in theaters and stuff. But because they re-released it, you know. But he when he first saw it, he came home and thought it was so cool how she flew with an umbrella. He's like 5. And his brothers told him he could. So we got an umbrella and went up to the roof of their 1-story house and jumped off. He landed on his rear. Yeah, he jumped off and landed on his rear end, you know, and his brothers, they said, "Why would you do that?" "Well, they told me I could." So they got in big trouble, the brothers. But yeah. So, but he was a big fan of the movies all through his life, or the movie, I should say. And Jane is the little girl in that movie, Jane and Michael. And then, of course, Tarzan Jane, a few other Janes that exist out there, but the main one's Jane Grey. So
all the Janes I can think of are actually pretty decent characters.
See, what's funny is the only Jane that I immediately, the one I think about, is Jane from Firefly. He's the big muscle head, knucklehead dude.
He's hilarious. I actually like Jane as a character. I think he's a great character, but he's definitely a scoundrel.
Yeah, he's got a great arc. He's this rough backstabber and meathead. He made Callie cry or Kaylee. Yeah, Kaylee. Yeah, it made Kaylee cry. Everybody hates him in the beginning, and then he actually turns out to be a huge softie in the end, and yeah.
Well, he definitely was willing to backstab people, but he eventually started to come around on a lot of stuff. So, but the other one that was brought up recently that I brought up to Casey after the fact, after we had decided on Jane, a day or two after, I was like, "Oh, so your emo is showing," and she's like, "What?" I'm like, your alternative rocker from your previous life, quote unquote, is showing. She's like, "Why?" Something's getting in the way. Something's just about to break. I will try to find my place in the diary of Jane.
Yeah.
Breaking Benjamin. Diary of Jane by Breaking Benjamin. And she laughed. She was like, yeah, that's awesome. So yeah, there's that reference too.
I hope that whenever Jane gets older, she has a diary, and then she just says Diary of Jane.
That would be funny. That would be funny.
I mean, if no one does it, I'm going to make sure she has one.
You can just gift it to her.
We have joked and speculated that she'll be like some kind of introvert goth, because all of us are pretty outgoing overall. Hazel's a little bit more introverted in general, but she's a ham, the second she feels comfortable. She's just at that age where she's still trying to figure stuff out, and she's a bit more cautious than all of us. But she's not jaded or anything like that. As soon as she works through the logic of something to be comfortable, she's like, okay, I can be comfortable and I can be goofy and fun and perform, so
I can relate.
Yeah. So, but yep. But yeah, let's see. That was the other reason we chose Jane is, it's a feminine of John, and we wanted to have a connection to Peter, so apostles. And then
she'll probably outrun him.
Her middle is Anduin.
Yes.
Her middle is Anduin, like the Anduin River. And that was meant to be a connection to Hazel, loose connection, because river and tree kind of a thing, like Psalm 1, rivers planted by the waterside, that kind of a thing. But there's other connections and stuff too, as with Anduin, but also Hazel's middle name is Anne. And that's the other funny thing. All three of the females in our family have Anne in their middle name in some degree. Casey is Angelica, and Hazel is Anne, and Jane is Anduin. So that's a interesting thing. And also the Lings came over to the United States because of Queen Anne on a ship called the Queen Anne. So there's that. And a lot of other various Anne things in my life that it just ended up working out that way. So
pretty cool.
Neat.
Yep. So speaking of Queen Anne, that's actually my favorite style of house. Random, but I think Queen Anne architecture, the Queen Anne architectural style is actually really, really pretty and cool, and I don't think it's enough love. So a lot of people consider it like the haunted house look, but I think it's way nicer than that.
Yeah.
It's from so Queen Anne, the British Queen Anne.
That is a haunted house. I just hit Google. that is that's like the penultimate haunted house. I love it.
But they're really pretty when they're upkept. That's the other thing.
I feel like
right?
I could sleep in a house like that, and then comparatively speaking, my sleep paralysis episode would be like nothing.
That's possible.
So like I would actually therefore sleep better in that.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So yeah.
There was a street near where I used to live, and there were 3 or 4 houses that style. They had like towers and stuff. There was a blue one, a pink one, and a purple one, and then a yellow one that was similar but didn't have a tower. And I used to tell my sisters, I'm like, so whenever we grow up, you get the blue one, you get the purple one, and I'm gonna get the pink one.
Yeah, there you go. That's awesome.
It was funny because they were like all right there and they all matched. I don't know if they're there anymore though.
That's funny. But yeah, I love that style. For homes and everything. Wits End is kind of in that style. There's other, around that time you also had like a Greco-Roman revival that has the big columns and stuff, and we see more of that in the old antebellum style houses in the South, but we do see some Queen Anne styles in the South too that are still around. And every time I pass by one of those houses, I'm just like, wow, just gorgeous. Love it. TK in the brood chat. I'll bring it over so the people can see. But yeah, every day when you're walking down the street, you stop and scream, and it shows Arthur like walking through a fire. Like it's pretty funny.
Yeah,
one of my sister's coworkers dressed up as Arthur for Halloween last year. It was hilarious.
Goodness. There's this meme soundbite whenever you were singing, walking down the street, stop and scream or whatever. The kids at my clinic, they will continually do the "I love Nestle Crunch."
Yeah, that one, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And whenever you said scream, that's what I was imagining.
Yep, I could see that. Oh boy. Let's see.
I'm asking my supervisor here, give me at least one Saturday a month off, if not more. So that way I can actually have my Friday and Saturday devoted to writing and reading and getting this out there. So
that could be good, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you or I was gonna ask, what are y'all's favorite Christmas movies?
Great question, but so Gremlins and Die Hard count, right?
Yeah, sure. I have no problem with those. Gremlins and Die Hard, yeah, sure.
Oh yeah. No, I would always watch Gremlins. It was only a few years ago I finally got my mom to watch Gremlins, and she wasn't having it. She was not interested until the scene with the mom came in.
Oh yeah, I love that because she's just like,
You know the scene we're talking about, Joshua?
I think so, yeah. It's been a minute since I've seen the whole of Gremlins, but I always catch
in the house.
Scenes.
The Gremlin's in the house, and then the mom's all by herself, and it's played up like, oh no, she's helpless, oh no. And then she puts it in a food blender at one point, I think.
Yes, I remember that. Yes.
Yeah, she's like not helpless alone in the house.
Yeah, she's not helpless, but I don't think she fares well at the end, does she?
She gets scratched, but she kills like 3 of them, I think. Because when the kid gets there, she
kills. Oh yeah, that's right. She goes on.
She like stabbed one, put one in the food blender, and like another one shut it in the microwave.
Yes, the microwave. I remember. Yes.
She's just like, and I like that because I hate in like horror movies and stuff whenever they get caught in the kitchen. It's like, dude, you literally have knives at your disposal.
All the knives. Yeah, exactly.
Pots of boiling hot water.
A frying pan. Sam Gamgee would be disappointed in you.
Yes.
I
just want one horror movie where people are actually like prepared. And you have like, oh, okay, we know someone's coming. Let's all go to the kitchen real quick. And like, you get someone with a boiling pot of water, put some oil, some salt in there.
Well, not to get too far afield of Christmas, but have you guys seen Cabin in the Woods?
Yes.
Yep.
Didn't really like it.
I feel like that one's similar to people being prepared in some ways. Some of them were. Some of them weren't, but like, yeah, it's more meta in that way.
Yeah, I didn't like
scenes in the beginning you definitely got to skip. But yeah.
Oh yeah, good one. Totally. I was gonna mention my 2 favorite Christmas ones, probably Joyeux, Noel, which Daniel just saw, and It's a Wonderful Life, classic. Always go back to it. I feel like it's just great.
I haven't seen either of those.
You haven't seen It's a Wonderful Life?
No. Well, okay, so my
You've
family...
seen versions of it.
No.
Okay, what are you saying?
We are old movie fans.
Yeah.
But there's a slight prejudice against It's a Wonderful
Jimmy
Life.
Stewart. Okay.
Because we really like Jimmy Stewart in a lot of other movies and feel like that
everyone
might be a little overrated.
No. For his performances, I could see that. It's a very good performance, but it's Jimmy Stewart. He always gives a good performance. I'm sure
with that, it's fabulous.
Yeah.
And actually, I'm not opposed to seeing it. It's just that like it hasn't been a priority.
Yeah. Well, it's very good. It's absolutely worth seeing. I like it because. Go ahead.
Shop Around the Corner, the 1941 with Jimmy Stewart, is also a beautiful Christmas movie / romancy.
I've heard of it. I'm gonna look that one up. I don't know if I've seen it, but I've definitely heard of it. So
I really like that one.
Yeah, I will look that one up. As far obviously old Christmas movies. You got Miracle on 34th Street. A lot of people are up or down about that one depending on what it is. There's obviously the 90s one. I don't think the 90s one holds a candle to it, even though it's decent. I like the old one. The girl is much more psychotic in that one. In the old one. And less precious. But I like that it's kind of sort of hinting at more Chestertonian themes with the idea of Santa Claus and like belief and all that stuff. I think it's clumsy in some places, and other places they really nail it. But I don't know if you've seen Miracle on 34th Street.
I've seen the older one.
That sounds very, very, very familiar. Miracle on 34th Street. Is that the one where Santa signs with one girl?
Yes. Yes, he does.
Yeah. He's working at Macy's.
Yeah, wow. Okay, I actually know these movies. Okay. I'm not used to this. Yeah. I'm used to being the one you guys fill in. It's like, wait a second. Why am I on my A game for these ones?
Yeah, no, the plot to that one is...
I knew that one because I remember being like 13 as I was interpreting their conversation for my mom. So, yeah.
Yeah, with that one, the basic plot is a real actual Santa Claus shows up in New York and works as not a mall Santa, but a Macy's department store Santa, for basically to help out a family that needs him. And basically it literally goes to they're trying to say that he's crazy because he's being 100% truthful about being Santa Claus, and therefore a bunch of people think he's possibly dangerous and shouldn't be with children, and therefore they need to, put him in a mental hospital. And it actually gets into a legal battle, and they're trying to determine whether there could actually be a real Santa Claus.
Have you ever seen?
It's pretty interesting.
Have you seen?
It's like God's Not Dead, but with Santa.
Yeah. What would you say, Abby?
Have you seen Ernest Saves Christmas?
I have seen bits and pieces of it. I need to actually sit down and watch the thing. I was never a huge Ernest guy, but I like that one. I like what I've seen of that one.
I like that
Ernest
one.
Is, yeah.
The movie Joshua, the movie you had me watch.
Joyeux Noel.
Joyeux, how do you say it? Joyeux?
Joyeux.
Joyeux Noel?
It's French.
Yeah, French.
Yes. I watched it with a buddy of mine because he said he was in a Christmas movie watching mood. But I don't know. He's a few years younger than me, and it shows.
It's also a pretty heavy movie.
Yeah. It shows in the kinds of movies he will pick whenever we get together versus the ones I pick. And anywho, he kept saying, "Oh man, this is boring. This is boring." And I had to tell him, I was like, "You're dopamine chasing. You're expecting there to be some action sequence and some like a big comedic scene, but it's like all the little beautiful things sprinkled in throughout the film that you're supposed to be looking at, not all like the big set piece or whatever." And there's some actually really good set pieces in there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, have you seen Joyeux, Noel, or know anything about it, Abby?
No, but I was just thinking, you mentioned that one being a heavier movie. It made me think of another one that was pretty good. It's called Beyond Tomorrow.
Okay.
It's another older one, but it's like these three older guys they're like rich and don't have a lot to do over the holidays, I guess. And they toss their wallets out the windows of the house to see what'll happen if anybody will bring them back. And it turns out that the one guy gets his wallet stolen, and then the other two guys, it's a guy and a girl, bring their wallets back, and then they end up helping them out, and it's like a cute little story.
Yeah. That sounds nice.
But it's also sad because the guys die.
Yeah. Well, Joyeux Noel is a sort of historical fiction version of the 1914 World War I ceasefire, Christmas ceasefire. So, yeah, there's a lot of war movie stuff in that. It's kind of funny. He was like, yo, this is boring. I'm like, dude, it's a war movie. What do you want?
Man. Who are you saying is boring, my friend?
Oh, yeah. I was just saying with your friend, like, he was saying it was boring. I'm like, dude, it's a war movie. What do you want?
There's a scene in the very beginning. It was funny. He was just so, like, in the modern world and doesn't have a historical lens whatsoever. And there is a scene when one brother dies and the other brother kisses him. And it's like...
on the lips, yeah.
Yeah, like it's a mouth kiss. And it's like because they're family. And that's a normal historical reality. It's like, that's fine. But he went like, oh, should we be watching this? I'm like, dude, get your mind out the gutter.
Yeah, that's so dumb.
It really is. Boy. It really is.
Oh, man.
I've already told everyone I'm heading out. Like 2 minutes. I'm going to use that last 2 minutes.
So are y'all staying in your area for Christmas or no?
I think I am heading up, and it's just going to be me, Aaron, mom, and dad.
Okay.
For Christmas. So I'm looking forward to that. Last year, the folks went down to Florida, and Aaron and I had to go up to Kansas City, and I was just like, this doesn't feel right. But this Christmas, it feels right because it's, 2025, 25. It's 25, 25. I'm going to be 25 coming into the new year. So.
Me too.
Very
What's
nice.
Up? I'm turning 25 next year too.
Oh, cool. I didn't realize we were like the same age.
Yeah.
So, wait, Abby, you're how old? You're 24? When's your birthday?
April 20th.
Oh, okay. Mine is June. That makes you older, right? Yes.
A month older. Yeah.
Just a month older. Cool. That's cool. I'm so used to being one of the babies of the brood. I didn't expect us to have like. I just thought you were older.
I'm slowly turning into one of the grandpas of the brood. So there's that.
Yes.
I gotcha.
I found out Jesse, Dante, now Daniel, they're all younger than me. I'm feeling old.
No. You're literally just a month old. Oh, you said April what?
20th. Same day as Amy Serkis.
Oh, okay, yeah. Literally just a month older. That's nothing.
Wow. Cool.
I'm turning 36 on the 30th.
Okay. I was trying to remember when your birthday was.
Yep. It's the 30th, so I was.
I know it's December.
Yeah, it's a day and I was a day and a half in the 80s. December 30th, 1989. So, yep. Technically an 80s baby in the most technical sense of the word.
Now I get a lot of jokes because Hitler was also born on April 20th.
Oh, he was?
Ouch. Oh, dang.
I'm like, no, Andy Serkis, who plays Gollum.
Oh, yeah. That's perfect. That's a great redirection there.
I only see what famous people have my birthday. I only know, like, personally some people who have my birthday. Let's see. December 30th birthdays. LeBron James.
Okay.
Tiger Woods. I knew that one. I forgot about it, but yeah. The YouTuber Meat Canyon. I don't know if you've seen his nonsense. Don't look it up if you haven't.
Don't look it up.
Well, okay. If you like really gross, scary, I don't mean like sexual usually, but just like really gross, weird, like make you uncomfortable animations, that's what he does. So.
Nah.
Yeah, no. The kids in my clinic have shown me enough. I know generally it's like I've heard that name before. To like Gandalf with the younger children of like, we don't need to go down that road. That one's not for you.
No, Pippin.
Elijah.
Exactly.
Elijah. Go ahead.
No, you're good. It's like I'm used to being Pippin, so it's more from the experience of, I am Pippin. I did that. Gandalf told me not to, and now I'm telling you not to. And I'm wearing my wizard hat pretending to be Gandalf.
I love that for Pippin's character development.
Yeah.
I could totally see that.
The only other ones that I'm really recognizing are Eliza Dushku, who was in all kinds of stuff. You would probably recognize her. She was Faith in Buffy the Vampire Slayer. She was several other characters. She was in the TV show Dollhouse, which I liked. Anyway,
don't watch that one.
Baseball Hall of Famer Sandy Koufax, and that's pretty much everyone I recognize. There's other people, but I don't know them. So, yeah, not a whole lot of people. Probably the most famous would probably be Tiger Woods, I would think. I think LeBron James is up there, but I would say Tiger Woods is more famous. I don't know. So, yeah. How about you, Daniel? What was yours again?
Sorry?
What was your birthday again? June what?
June 28th.
Let's see who you got.
It was the start of it's the anniversary of the start of the, first World War.
Yep. Elon Musk, Markiplier, King Henry VIII, right off the bat. James O'Keefe.
That's for me?
Yeah.
Elon Musk,
Markiplier. Henry VIII and Markiplier. Then we have Kathy Bates and James O'Keefe. Mel Brooks.
Oh.
Pat Morita. Mr. Miyagi.
Wait, I get Mr. Miyagi?
Yes.
Wow.
Oh, wax on, wax off. Wax on.
Yeah.
And the fact my name is Daniel. That's perfect.
Exactly, right? Dango-san. Oh, those are the main ones that stick out to me.
In the Brood now. I need to change my nickname in the Brood.
Dango-san.
Wait, how do you spell the son?
S-A-N.
S-A-N. Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yep.
I know that from an old book series that I really, really like. Where the one character, his name is Brains Benton, if you've ever heard of him. But there's a Japanese character who calls him Brains Son. And it's kind of funny.
Oh boy!
What is that? What is this Arthur thing that Ian just?
I don't know.
It's just right into my soul.
I don't know. I'll show it on the thing.
It
looks like a potato.
As soon as I saw it, I was like, why does that kind of look like me?
It looks like a potato.
I mean, I am wearing my potato shirt, so maybe that's part of the association there.
Oh, let's see. There we go. I put the Friends gif, whatever that was. I'm a potato. I was thinking of the TikTok sound. I'm a potato. I don't know if you guys remember that one, but anyway.
No, I don't.
No.
But he does look like a potato.
Yes, he does. Oh, goodness. Also, there's no way that that's AI. Quite frankly, there's just way too much detail.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Well, that makes it almost worse because someone spent their time making it.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, if this was just an AI thing, like, I'd be like, whatever, you know, like, but it actually looks like super detailed.
I hate it. Oh, no.
That's what Ian says. He says, I hate it. I hate it so much.
I need to go turn that into mashed potatoes. My goodness.
Oh, man. Let's see here. Got about 23 minutes. Let's see. One of the other things that I'm working on, just kind of in the background, because I don't want to change a whole lot of my setup until I'm done with this other book. But basically, I'm going to be using various software thingamabobs to send different versions of my microphone signal to different software. And basically, so I will be able to yell really loud when I'm or speak really quietly when I'm recording for a book, and it won't inhibit my performance. Same for singing, but then it will still sound this way to you guys on Discord and on the recording, which is not more sensitive necessarily. I can still be really loud, and it won't clip, but it'll slightly distort. And I kind of have to be more even tone with this setting. Also, it's cutting off my voice to keep there from being a whole lot of extra noise. And so basically I'm going to set it to where I get different versions of the way this microphone's supposed to sound based on what what app I'm using to record with. And the goal, I've been getting into more fiction, reading more fiction for people, and there's many a time where I need to yell and I have to pause and step back, and it takes me out of it for a minute. And I'm like, I want to be in the moment saying the thing as the character, and I need to be able to go up and down and all over the place. So I'm working on making that better. So I was going to get a pretty expensive piece of equipment to solve that problem kind of unilaterally, but I think I can solve it with $40 and some software. So I'm looking into that route instead of the somewhere between $750 and $1,000 fix. So yeah.
Nice.
That's cool. Since joining the Brood, I have learned more about software and sound recording stuff than I ever thought I would.
And I've been in here for years, and I haven't learned a lick of it. So.
Well, I've been learning there is different types of things, and they do different types of things.
Oh, yes. Yeah, no, I knew that bit.
Yeah, the tech aspect of, there's obviously artists who are not super tech savvy. They just do stuff and they work with whatever medium they're comfortable with. For me, I feel like I want to get better at every single part of my craft, even the boring ones. Even though I don't necessarily find them boring, but that's just because I have the mind of a puzzle solver, whatever. But it's like
the mind of a puzzle.
Do what?
The mind of a puzzle.
The mind of a puzzle. I have the mind of a puzzle.
I definitely have that. I have that. Just all the pieces are just on the table.
And I have the mind of a riddle.
With our powers combined, we just confuse everyone.
That's funny. Oh man.
But that's a good thing to want to actually like improve in your craft.
Right.
In the aspects of it that like maybe other people totally ignore even.
Right.
But still are very much there. So, it's a good thing.
I think the other reason is because, I don't know if you knew this, but my dad raised me in the mobile DJ business, family business, and I literally danced as part of my living, like teaching people dances and getting parties going, and being that kind of like showman, outgoing sort of a thing was very, very formative for me. But it was that mixed with like, it wasn't ever divorced from the fact that I had to know how to hook the amplifiers up properly to the speakers and shut everything down in sequence so we didn't blow the speakers and blah, 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 right? Like, I had to take care of the equipment. I had to haul the equipment, set up the equipment, like the whole... And I got really good at all of those because, especially during the recession, which is hilarious because my dad did lose his day job, but we probably worked during that recession more than we ever did. We were 2 to 3 jobs every weekend, and we didn't work Sundays. Fridays and Saturdays basically, and we were booked just solid every weekend. And I learned so much just doing that over and over and reading the room, trying to decide what are the best songs to play. Reading, it's so much different reading a room with like a half a dozen kids, in a basement. We're in a basement with a half a dozen kids at their birthday, 5-year-old birthday party, versus I'm at a father-daughter dance with literally at some, huge mega private school that has like literally 5,000 people in attendance, both indoor and outdoor, for some big, huge, fall festival / daddy-daughter dance kind of a thing, right? And so like reading one room versus the other is completely different. Being able to command that presence to make the party a thing, make it an event. There's a P.T. Barnum quote at the end of Greatest Showman, and it's a real quote, whatever, but it's the noblest act is that of making other people happy. And well, I wouldn't necessarily say noblest, it's one of the noblest for sure. And like, I had such a fun time living that out and just trying to make people remember the party that they went to when they were 5, 6, 7 years old. For some of them, this was their 60th birthday, whatever it was. They're going to remember this party, and they're going to remember the fun time they had. There's so much that goes into weddings and other things where people they got to do decorations, and they got to do cake, and they got to do food, and there's all these different things that can go into a party. But when you really look at it from a like, what am I going to remember years later? I feel like DJ is one of the most overlooked things. Because you're going to remember the entertainment, you're going to remember the dances, you're going to remember the silly times and the fun times everybody had. You know what I mean? With the games people played, whatever it was, even if it's not a DJ, you're going to remember what you did at the party. You're not going to remember like all the specific details of all these smaller things, So
very neat.
I think the only event I can remember doing where they actually had like a whole DJ setup was probably my big sister's wedding. It was pretty cool. I remember, they were pretty cool people. Some of the people in my family have interesting to pronounce names. And I remember coming over to my sister, and they're like, "Okay, so how do we pronounce your mom's name?"
Right. Mm-hmm.
My mom's name is Galadriel.
Oh, nice.
Wait, what? What's your mom's
from
name?
Lord of the Rings? Galadriel.
Galadriel? What? That's so cool.
Isn't it?
No, that's amazing. What?
Yeah. So, of course, he wants to get her name right.
Yep.
A lot of people have trouble pronouncing it.
I'm just shocked.
Well, our parents were hippies.
Mm-hmm.
At least they were the cool, like, Lord of the... Well, wait, I don't want to say anything too soon. Were they just, like, cool Lord of the Rings type? Or, like, hippies, like full on?
A little bit of, like, Lord of the Rings type, but also, like, weird stuff, too. But,
Okay.
But they got better.
They read the books. They got it from the books. They got it from the books, though, and it was really cool, because... yeah. So
wait, your grandparents named her Galadriel?
Yes.
That's
78. So
whoa! Like in the middle of the Satanic Panic and everything, or
yeah,
that's cool.
Beginning of Satanic Panic, really, but yeah,
right. No, but that's crazy cool.
Mm-hmm. And then my sister's name is Elsa.
Oh.
So,
okay.
and I was like, "Oh my goodness, like from Frozen?" And she's like, "Yeah," except she was 13 when Frozen came out.
Right.
So, like, from the original story, or just from something else?
No. Snow Queen does not have the name Elsa. Elsa's an old Norse name.
Yeah. I just
right.
Okay, just old Norse name. Gotcha.
But like, it's just really funny because there's like, somehow people ended up with like Wordle names, and it's just funny.
Yes.
Interesting.
And this is like my brother's sister's cousin's nonsense, but like the women's Bible study teacher at my church, her sister's name is Eowyn.
Oh,
nice.
That's awesome.
Yep.
I met a girl online who was named Eowyn. Her and her sister were really cool people.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember if I'm still in contact with them. I haven't spoken to her in a while, but they were just cool people.
Would appreciate some prayers for my mom. She's having some medical stuff. So just prayers for her, please. Appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Not major, but enough to be concerned. So.
Of course.
Let's see.
I don't know where I put my car keys.
Oh man. Yeah, we're going to, I mean, we're going to be here for Christmas, but we just pop over the river into South Carolina, like less than 30 minutes, and we're at Casey's parents. So we'll be over there for latter half of Christmas morning. And then, come back in the afternoon. And then on my birthday, the 29th and the 30th, we'll be over at my mom's in Alpharetta, 2.5 hours west. So not bad. It's nice that we can do a day trip if we need to, but we're going to spend one night, so that'll be good.
That's pretty cool.
Right on.
As far as I know, we're not doing any traveling.
Oh, I'll put another bug in y'all's ear for there's not a ton of great New Year's Eve type specials and things out there, but are either of you familiar with the old-timey radio show The Shadow?
Yes.
Okay, you are. Are you, Daniel?
Shadow. Old-timey radio show? You're asking the deaf boy.
That's true.
Hold up.
But,
yeah. Radio show? No.
Okay.
I'm not.
When I say old timey, I mean like it ran from the 30s through the 50s. So
it's probably playing in the background, but I just couldn't hear it.
Yeah. It stars Orson Welles, famous actor. Anyway,
I want to say I probably was in the room because Orson Welles, all that stuff was always present. It just couldn't hear it.
So basically, he's a superhero who has psychic powers, sort of a thing. He can kind of control other men's minds. He can negotiate with them telepathically. He can also hide himself and hide in the shadows and whatever else. And so he has a very cerebral sort of way of dealing with people. But he's sort of a detective / superhero. He was one of the inspirations for Batman along with Zorro. Anyway, there's an episode of The Shadow called The Man Who Killed Time. And that one is really, really good, really super kind of scary in that old school kind of way. It has a really interesting, like, metaphysical Christianity of the time idea. It's kind of sci-fi sort of what do you call it, Twilight Zone-y sort of vibe, and it's about a guy who's like a scientist who literally finds a way to loop all of time, like for everyone in the entire human race, and he basically sets it up to where because he wants to live forever, he has a terminal disease, and he spends his loop. He sets up the loop in such a way that he kills his worst enemy every single night, like for the rest of eternity, basically, because he's got the time loop going on. And so the shadow has to figure out that this loop is happening first to break loose of it, and then he has to go confront the guy, and it's like a really, really like sci-fi Twilight Zone freaky thing that's all surrounded around New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, because that's when the loop occurs, right? So it's like we have to ring in the new year, right? So it's just a fun New Year's Eve special. Definitely worth looking up. It's all public domain now, so you can find it anywhere, YouTube or archive.org or anything like that. So, But yeah, it's really good.
Yeah. There's a old time radio shows channel on YouTube. They're pretty good. They have a lot of stuff like that. And like you said, archive.org is always good.
Yep.
Most of my knowledge about stuff like the Shadow and stuff actually comes from my little sister, who did that movie I posted a while back. I don't know if any of y'all got a chance to watch it.
What was that?
Remember that I shared that YouTube channel with you, Broadcasting Magic?
Vaguely.
Those are my siblings.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So,
little accident there. I was swiping up on multiple apps, and whoops.
You're good.
I was just gonna say, nothing. I was just saying my sister's a nerd.
Yep.
She's really studied in depth a lot of that stuff. So she's like, we've watched like episodes of the Batman TV show that were like one of the first ones, the Shadow, like the rest of like that. It's pretty cool. That's all.
Yep.
But,
I love the Shadow. I love Batman. I love Zorro. All those. The Dark Avenger characters. They're great. Love them.
The more I look at it, the more like I really do feel like I've been exposed to that. I don't know. It's somewhere back in my subconscious, probably.
Very underrated Dark Avenger character, who admittedly stole his idea in a lot of ways from The Crow, from the 90s, which is super, super dark if you haven't seen The Crow.
I have.
You have. Mm-hmm. Yep. It's one of those, like, go ahead.
I said I haven't seen it yet. Also, sorry if you can hear Scrabble noises in the background. They're playing Scrabble.
Oh, it's all good.
Getting animated.
It's all good. I'm going to be getting off in about 4 minutes, but there's a wrestler goes by the name of Sting, and he did one of the best storylines in wrestling ever. He basically used to be, I'll show a picture, but he was kind of just like California surfer, musclehead sort of character. I'll give you a picture of what he looked like, but he was cool. He was really, really energetic, and let's see. Yeah, so this is what he looked like. Copy image, paste. This is what he looked like early on in his career. And he was just a very, very energetic, outgoing, exciting wrestler. He would do high flying moves, and he had, a scorpion on his tights, and he went by the name Sting. He had that blonde flat top haircut. Just a really, really just kind of cool wrestler. He was exciting, smiled, outgoing, wore the face paint, all that stuff. And slowly over time, he started to not bleach his hair anymore. It went brown. It started to get longer. He grew it out long slowly over this course of this story. But basically, he ended up looking completely different and transforming because of the story that his character went through. Basically, this gang stepped in. There's a before and after kind of a thing. This gang, of thugs and high ranking wrestlers kind of grouped together to create this. They called it the New World Order or NWO of wrestling. It's their little faction. And they started recruiting all kinds of wrestlers, and it was framed like they were trying to start their own like alternative company, and they would, literally like assault and beat all these other wrestlers and things. And Sting was one of the main ones standing against them and standing against their hostile takeover of the company. And basically they in some very pivotal moments, the NWO painted Sting, their own Sting, another guy who looked like him, to literally painted his face, made him look like Sting, and had him take part in the beatdowns. But of course, they're only seeing him partially and whatever else, and no one else is really seeing him up close either, because it's old broadcast TV and whatever else. And it made it look like Sting had joined the New World Order. And his friends all kind of turned on him. They were like, yeah, you're a liar, you're whatever. And basically Sting got to the point where he proved that he wasn't that one. He came out and beat up the fake Sting, but then he left his friends and said, I consider myself a free agent now. So he goes off, he gets like super dark. Everyone's theorizing that he's going to join the NWO. And then, like literally a year of will he, won't he kind of stuff, where he's kind of sitting up in the rafters like the Phantom of the Opera, rafters of these arenas. He rappels down from the rafters on like a cable and uses a ball bat and single-handedly takes out almost the entirety of the NWO and saves all his buddies. And they take him back, and he becomes like the Dark Avenger to their whole situation. It was just a really, really cool story.
Man. Normally my ADHD is like way off, but I caught every bit of that. And just, oh my goodness. Yes.
Oh, it's a great story. That's
the kind of story that just like, can I be that? My turn? Me, please?
Right. Oh boy. But yeah, I was 7, 8, 9, perfect age for this kind of story when it came out.
Let her off.
Yep. And so 96, 97, 98 was when this main kind of story took place. And Sting, the other thing that made it great was Hulk Hogan. Everyone knows who Hulk Hogan was. He was the biggest the biggest good guy character for 20 plus years. he was revealed at one of these events to be the new leader of the NWO. And he became like the big bad guy and told everyone to stick it. Said, all you kids that looked up to me, forget you. I'm in it for the money now. Right. He went total, absolute bad guy. And I want to read, I have it in my mind memorized because I've watched this so many times, but there's this one bit of prose. So basically, Sting's theme song at the time was an instrumental, like, epic cinematic theme, right? Like a leitmotif almost. That's what he came to the ring with. Well, when he finally got his match with Hollywood Hulk Hogan, he came to the ring to the theme song, but there was an additional thing because it was instrumental. They put a child reading a piece of prose over the track in a creepy voice.
Ooh, that sounds cool.
And yeah, and this is what this is what it said. This is what it said. When a man's heart is full of deceit, it burns up, dies, and a dark shadow falls over his soul. From the ashes of a once great man has risen a curse, a wrong that must be righted. We look to the skies for our vindicator, someone to strike fear into the black hearts of the same men who created him. The battle between good and evil has begun. Against an army of shadows comes a dark warrior, the purveyor of good, with a voice of silence and a mission of justice. This is Sting.
Woo! I like that.
Yeah. So like it was really, really cool. That was the other thing.
They had Sting, like a little kid doing this, like a little girl or a little boy.
Yes, they had you couldn't really tell if it was a boy or a girl, but like, yeah, it was like a 5, 6, 7-year-old read it out loud.
Oh, that's good.
And then the other thing that was really cool about the story is Sting, like I said, he was this bright, crazy, flamboyant character for so many years. After he announced that he was going to be a free agent, he almost never spoke again. He never spoke on camera. He never spoke as a character. He would just stare people down. He would stare people down and he would hit. It was all action, right? Like if he was going to take you out, he was going to take you out. He was fully just intimidating, like eyes, just stare down the bad guys. So when it says a voice of silence and a mission of justice, it just, it's so hard. So, but yeah, he was really, really, really good at being just intimidating. And it wouldn't have worked if you didn't also have a host of characters on both sides, the NWO and WCW. He had really close friends who he'd won tag team championships with, like Lex Luger. You had Diamond Dallas Page, who was this guy. You probably heard of him before because he's kind of famous in real life for creating a lot of men's fitness health stuff and helping a lot of celebrities who basically especially celebrity athletes who get really, really messed up over time. Some of them go homeless, and he picks them up off the ground and helps them out. But his name's Diamond Dallas Page. He broke into wrestling when he was in his late 30s, early 40s and became world champion. And so he's like this dude who just just an amazing character and person, like in real life. And you had Roddy Piper, who had all kinds of beef with Hulk Hogan from years past. You had, and these are all the good guys I'm thinking of right now. You had Booker T. You had all kinds of guys on the WCW side. The Steiner brothers were constantly there. And then on the NWO side, you had all these absolutely like obsessed with themselves, I'm too cool for school sort of characters that just took themselves super seriously. There was two different 7-footers, one on each side most of the time, although sometimes the bad guys had both of the 7-footers, but one was Kevin Nash, the other was the Big Show, all that stuff.
Carey.
But yeah, what's up, Carey? You back?
Yeah, I am back. Jesse's going to be joining me shortly. My parents now. Because we're not going home because a shooting happened like 2 blocks away from our house. So,
dang.
You guys need to move. First, it
we
was
do.
people breaking out of a prison and into your house, and now that move.
Yes.
Just
so we're kind of waiting to leave the house. We're at my parents' is chilling. We're waiting to leave. So yeah, we've got a while. I don't know how long you guys are planning on staying because Joshua usually gets up for this time.
Yeah, I'm considering my options at this point. I'll stay on for a few minutes, but
I mean, we can all still stay on though, or everybody else.
Yeah,
I forget
absolutely.
That. Yeah.
Yep. So, but yeah. Well, sorry to hear about that. Hopefully things get sorted. That really sucks.
Yeah.
That's not good. Yeah.
Daniel, I have a question. Should I drink a beer or whiskey?
In this moment? In this instance?
Yeah.
Whiskey.
Okay, good idea.
That's what I was going to say.
I was about to crack the open one, and I was like, I don't know.
I mean, in that instance, I'm going with, like, this stuff.
What is that? I missed it. I'm sorry.
Maker's Mark.
Let's see. What do we have?
Well, anyway, stay safe, first of all.
Oh, give me a second, guys. I found a dog. Look it up.
Hello, dog.
Hello.
Jesse, you need glasses.
I didn't know. What is happening? It looks. Wait, is that its butt or
it's a rabbit?
Yes.
Looks like a rabbit. My goodness.
It is
a rabbit. Jesse.
Rabbit. Hey, Daniel says hi.
Hi. The rabbit. Why is the dog like hiding?
Because
it's a rabbit.
It's a rabbit. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Y'all can continue on y'all's conversation. I'm gonna mute myself real quick while I fix my stuff.
I was mostly finishing up.
I do have to kind of point out it's funny that the Brood right now, we have a bunch of 20-somethings, and then we have Joshua, and it's very reminiscent of being a kid again. Well, and we have Brendan, but like in this moment, I could not escape the visual of being a kid at the library listening to stories.
That's accurate.
Good. Yeah.
But yeah. Oh man. Oh, one of the cool things Sting did, just one of the random week-to-week things that he did. They had so keep in mind it's like a giant gang NWO, right? Like probably 20 some odd guys. They're all in the ring. Hollywood Hogan strutting around with the belt, which, by the way, he spray painted NWO on the championship belt because that was the thing that they did. They would like spray paint opponents that they actually like beat down. You know, they beat down opponents and then spray paint NWO on them and stuff like that. So the belt is like a gold championship belt, but it has black spray paint, says NWO on it. Anyway, so Hulk Hogan's strutting around doing his thing, and then from the entranceway, you actually see like 3 different Stings like start walking to the ring, and they're all wearing like plastic Sting masks. And like basically they all come to the ring and then they all get beat up, and then more start coming down the ramp, but then also more Stings start coming in from the crowd and stepping over the barricade, and there's like stings, and but they're going down one hit, right? Like someone will punch him and then they'll whatever, and then finally like one of them gets in there close to Hulk Hogan, and they hold him for a second, and Hogan goes to strike him and he doesn't go down.
Ooh.
And Hogan's all like dancing around and like, yeah, I got him, because he didn't even wait to see if he fell down or whatever. He like turns around and he's like, yeah, look at me. And then the plastic mask comes off and the face paint is underneath.
Nice.
You got the real Sting. And he did this move called the Scorpion Death Drop, where basically like imagine I'm standing next to a guy and I grab his head like this, like back of his head like this, and I reach around, tuck his head backwards under my arm, and basically just fall back to the mat, right? Like basically put him in a limbo position, like he's bending backward, and his head is right here. His eyes are up under my arm right here, and I'm fall back from a standing position. I'll show you a video. Hold on.
Yeah, wait, no, like you're going almost like you have them in a guillotine.
Yeah, but it's reverse guillotine.
Okay, so their butt is sticking out in the same direction your butt is.
You'll see. Hold on.
Okay.
I'm gonna throw this video link. It's long, but it's just because it's a compilation, but you can see the move over and over.
Just dirty storming. That's cool.
Threw it in the as a link there, but yeah. But he basically would do that where he'd sneak up behind somebody and grab the back of their hair and then hit the scorpion death drop. You see how he did that?
Yeah, I just see the thumbnail, and that gives me the idea.
Yep.
Awesome.
Yep. Just falls back to his back, basically.
Gotcha.
Yep. So, cool move.
Hey.
Well, I do think I'll probably need to get going. I gotta get those finishes done for Thomas. You guys can hang around, do your thing. If you really want me to come back at some point, just let me know. If Jesse's looking for me or something like that, or you all want to talk about something specific, just let me know, all right? And I'll see what I can do. Y'all have a great night. Love y'all. Merry Christmas.
Bye.
Thank you.